13 of 15 non-Russians in military unit dead, Indians seek return.
Here's a summary of the article.
2 Indian men fighting for Russia in its war against Ukraine have appealed to Indian authorities to help them get back home as they described the horrific situation on the front lines, with one of them saying 13 of 15 non-Russians in his unit had been killed. The meeting earlier this week between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, during which the return of Indians fighting in the war was discussed, had raised the men's hopes of getting back home. "My commander has told me that he didn't receive any order to release us. Now, the whole unit is going to the front line, and I have also been told to join the unit," he told the Indian Express. Arjun Taman, from Kalimpong in West Bengal, is already on the front lines and has said in a video message that he and a Sri Lankan man are the only 2 non-Russians alive in his contingent that originally had 15 such people. The Indian Express had earlier reported that he was duped by agents who promised him the job of a security guard in Russia, but took him instead to the front lines of the battle with Ukraine. In the video message sent Thursday, Arjun said, "Since March, I have been stuck in the Russia-Ukraine war. There were 15 non-Russians here, but 13 have been killed. Only the 2 of us, myself and a man from Sri Lanka, are alive. I am in touch with the Kalimpong municipality chairman. He told me that Modi was in Russia and he had a talk with the Russian president. I am happy that I am alive and I want to go back to my country. I appeal to authorities to please release me and other Indians. But now we have been asked to go to the front line. I request the Indian government to talk to Russia and arrange our return to India," he said.
This post received a score of 12,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than Gagandeep said he had gone to Russia on a tourist visa on the advice of someone who said an increased travel history would help him get work in England. What? Sometimes the embassies ask such questions to assess the risk of violating visa conditions. For e.g., when I applied for a US visa many years ago, the person who did the visa interview asked me about travel history outside my home continent.
Yes, many years ago I processed visa applications for a job. Any entry stamp or visa from a certain list of countries and your application was checked by more than one person very carefully. Indian applicants were always an adventure. False documents in a high number of applications such as bank, health, education and just about anything else you can bribe someone to obtain. Sometimes the poor Muppets didn't even know they were not getting their documents through official channels.
These very reasons are why Canada is having a huge problem with applicants from India scamming government and educational institutions with false and illegitimate documentation. While I appreciate my country being gracious, these kind need to be dealt with swiftly. I hope Canada finds a list of Indians who enlisted in Putin's service are added quickly to a block list, and completely banned from entry. I hope their own country charges them with war crimes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't need to worry too much about the ones that joined the Russian operations, seeing as only 2 of 15 survived.
Don't go to work in Russia. They started a war they can't win and are looking for cannon fodder to help keep it going.
Plenty of Indians here on Reddit pushing a pro-Russian narrative. Last week someone said that Russia is great because they were never hostile to India.
Does throwing them into a meat grinder count?
Treated just like Russian citizens.
Treated just like Russian citizens from the oblasts and ethnic republics, anyway.
Well, if he conscripts ethnic Russians from St. Petersburg and Moscow, it'll cause unrest. What do you expect him to do? Other than, not start a war.
Poor guy, his hands are completely tied.
India finding the hard way what friendship means to Russia. They don't seek partners, just suckers to exploit.
This is why BRICS is a pipe dream. Just a bunch of countries trying to use each other.
It's hilarious as India is cozying up to Russia over fears of an encroaching China, who is in turn moving closer to Russia, who in turn is forming closer ties to the DPRK, which China of course doesn't like. They're a joke.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.